I'm Councillor Julie Fallon and I am leader of the council. Can I welcome everyone to the meeting?
Meeting will be live streamed and recorded and will be available for viewing after the meeting. Should the live stream fail, the meeting will continue and a recording will be available through the council's website following the conclusion of the meeting. Can I remind members that translation facilities are available? If you want to make use of this facility, please select the English language option on the microphone delegate unit if you're in the council chamber, and for those attending remotely by clicking the audio settings tab and selecting English. For those wishing to speak, please press your microphone push to speak button, which is located at the bottom of the microphone console. Similarly, for those attending remotely, press the push to speak tab. Your names will appear in a queue and I will take speakers in turn as I consider appropriate. Do not use the yellow hand function. This should only be used if you want to raise a point of order. Can I ask the Cabinet members put their mics on first, and once all committee members have had the opportunity to speak, then non-committee members will be requested to put their mics on. In order to maintain your place in the queue, when asking a question, please leave your microphone on until you have received a response and asked any supplementary questions. For those attending remotely, please note that those in the chamber will be unable to use the chat facility. Remote attendees, if you need to leave the meeting temporarily, pop a message in the chat function to the Democratic Services Officer and let us know when you return. I expect everyone present and participating in this meeting to conduct themselves appropriately and to be respectful to each other. That applies to members, officers and members of the press or public attending. Okay, so on to the agenda. So first of all, we have apologies for absence.
No apologies received.
Okay, thank you. Aaron?
I will have to leave at 3 o'clock because I have a meeting with the WLGA, but I will be back if the meeting is still good.
Okay, thank you. Item 2, declarations of interest. Okay, Sharon?
I would like to declare a prejudicial interest in the empty homes item. I have an empty home, or a home that is currently empty that I'm trying to sell. And I'm also a member of the FROSC panel, FROSC committee, so I won't be taking part in the debate on the panel assessment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Flynn?
Just to clarify for people watching, because we have cabinet members who are members of the scrutiny committee when a recommendation was made in relation to item 9B, specifically that is a recommendation from scrutiny which is asking for a decision from cabinet today. So it wouldn't be appropriate for cabinet members who have been involved in the decision making on that in FROSC to take part today. It's not a prejudicial interest, so you don't need to leave. It's just about that you don't take part in the debate. So I think that applies to Councillor Aaron as well. So diolch yn fawr.
Diolch. Thank you, Sharon. Councillor Stephen?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to advise to declare an interest in item 9A as a previous member of the Governance and Audit Committee, but I don't think this is a prejudicial interest, so I will remain in the chamber.
Okay, thanks, Stephen. Aaron, you're just going to repeat what Sharon said. Okay, thank you. In which case, number 3, urgent matters. I'm not aware of any. No. Item 4, minutes of cabinet, which you'll find on pages 4 to 7, and that's to approve as a correct record of the minutes of the previous meeting. For those that were present, is someone happy to propose? Chris, seconded by Mike, and can I see a show of hands, please? Thank you. Item 5, announcements by leader. Excuse me. So I will just take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you to all the councillors that voted for me last week to be the next leader of Conway Council. A very proud moment for me. But I really want to take the opportunity to thank the outgoing members of the Cabinet and Councillor Charlie McCoubrey in particular as leader, who did a fantastic job over the years. Really big shoes to fill, and I will do my best to fill them. And I repeat what I said really in council, that we work together, not just the cabinet, but all members of this council. And I look forward to that moving forward. So thank you. Nothing else really to add today. So over to Chief Exec.
Thank you very much, Leader, and welcome you as Leader to this meeting, and also to the new Cabinet members. Welcome, and really looking forward to working with you for the next 18 months. I'd also be remiss of me not to thank, in the same vein as the Leader has, the outgoing Cabinet members, but also specifically to the former Leader. I know firsthand the hours and hours and hours that the former Leader put in to his role. It's a responsibility, and I know how hard he's worked over the past 4 years for the county and the people of this county. So from an officer perspective, just thank you very much for all your support, and good luck with your future endeavours. Diolch yn fawr.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Okay, so on to item 7, which is the Cabinet Forward Work Programme, pages 8 to 40. I'm sure members have had the opportunity to have a look through there. Would anybody like to comment? No, in which case can I just suggest that we move the Forward Work Programme and move on to item 8, which is the integrated...
Sorry, Leader.
Do we have to take a vote?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. I didn't think we did on the Forward Work Programme. Apologies. Oh, well, there we go. Hopefully that's my only mistake of the day. Yeah, okay, in which case I did see a couple of hands go up there. So can I just see a show of hands that we're happy with the Forward Work Programme? Thank you. On to item 8. So integrated adult services and HR portfolio. And this is the Director of Social Care's annual report for 24-25, which you'll find on pages 41 to 140. And we're over to Hannah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So it's an absolute pleasure for me to be able to present the Director of Social Care annual report for 24-25. I can't take credit for it, and the comments in there from the previous portfolio holders, but thank you very much for the services that they gave to that. So at the end of every financial year, the Statutory Director of Social Services is required to publish a report to set out the local authority's improvement journey in providing services to the residents of Conway, those who access information, advice and assistance, and those individuals and carers in receipt of care and support. The report uses information from a variety of different sources to demonstrate and evidence how we are promoting wellbeing and accounting for the delivery of quality standards. The report is part of the Welsh Government's performance and improvement framework and is integral to our social services planning, scrutiny and performance information improvement actions. It also enables Welsh Government to collate and understand data and evidence on the delivery and care and support across Wales. There is now more emphasis on self-assessment of performance, which includes what we have achieved and done well, and there's plenty of that, and what improvements are needed, informed by feedback from service users, the public and partners. We will tell you about actions planned and taken to achieve improvements and progress made against improvement priorities identified in the previous year. The foundations for the new performance and improvement framework are 8 quality standards that represent people's wellbeing under the Social Services and Wellbeing Wales Act 2014, and they fall under 4 headings, which you will see set out in this report. Those headings are people, prevention, partnerships and integration, and wellbeing. And just to pick out a few highlights from those areas, for people, we've had our local integrated family team working closely with our young families. Our youth service, very active. We have a new autistic spectrum condition lead officer to improve our neurodivergency offer. We will continue to work through our deprivation of liberty safeguarding, and we have on the horizon an extra care housing facility planned for Rose, and we'll be working very hard there with both health and the college on that. Prevention, we have a strengthening families team, an enhanced service for our children looked after, and an older people service that helps us with safe and timely discharge from hospital, and there's been significant improvements in that area. Our disability services promote independence. They're using assistive technology to help do that, and they've been improving the properties. We have had our NUID, which is our Mental Health Recovery College, or Creative Recovery, which are working very well with our community and on the prevention score there. We have partnerships and integration, and to that heading, we have transformed our children's service. I could spend half an hour talking about the improvements that have gone here, but I'll keep it short. We've got Button Udall, Havant y Wen and Silver Gardens that are all now being used by our young people, and they've come on, it's an incredible amount of work that's gone into producing those facilities. I'm really pleased to see those in action. And we have support for our care leavers who get quite a lot of support given to them to make sure that they can be as successful as possible within their lives, and that the fact that they've been in care shouldn't be an issue for them. We should support them in the way that any of our children will be supported. And under wellbeing, we've got a new effective child protection model. We've had National Safeguarding Week, a highlight of which was a young person that was able to share with everybody their lived experience. And we have been also had an increase in rogue trader activity in the area, and we're working with trading standards and the police there to protect those adults at risk that we have in our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hannah. And yes, as you say, we could spend, well, probably more than half an hour, really, couldn't we, talking about, certainly in terms of social care as a whole and what happens there. It's absolutely fantastic. And it's around putting the individual first, and I think it's hugely important, and the opportunity for any service user to feed back, and that's really part of this and what the team do. Partnership working, but yeah, the dedication of our teams. We're all aware of the financial climate. To continue to work with that person-centred approach is fantastic. Partnership working, opportunities to look for regional working, all this is happening, and it's credit to Jenny and heads of service and every member of the team across social services. Jenny, I don't know if you want to come in at all.
Thank you. No, we had a really helpful presentation and a good opportunity to share much more detail than we've got time to consider today, but at scrutiny. So that was really helpful. And yeah, just thank you for Councillor Hannah's introduction and support there. I think it's got the title of being my report, but very much a huge team effort. And, we really value being able to have this opportunity, but it is a critical statutory report because our external regulators use that for their assurance mechanisms. So diolch fawr.
Diolch. Yeah, really important, as you say. And yeah, massive thanks to the whole team that create this throughout the year. Okay, so in terms of this report was considered by Social Care and Health, as Jenny has just mentioned, on the 3rd of September, and it supported the recommendations, which you'll find on page 42. Hannah, were you proposing those?
I propose that we note the report, and a big thank you to everybody involved. Thank you.
Okay, so in terms of the recommendation, so recommendation 2.1 that social care, 2.2, subject to the consideration of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee, recommendation that Cabinet approve the Director of Social Care's annual report for 24-25. So Hannah, you're proposing that. Kay, are you seconding
I'd love
that?
to second that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mike, did you want to come in?
Yeah, I was going to second, but also I just wanted to put a personal aspect on all the work that's been done by social services. We don't usually see what's being done until sadly we need the services. And I have to say, when you look at collaboration, and especially Jenny, the re-enablement team, I remember my father in hospital was asked a question, if you'd like to be anywhere in the world, where would you like to be? And he said, I'd like to be at home, please. And it was down to the re-enablement team helping, assisting him be where he wants to be. And then the care that the team provided was basically probably the best I've ever, well, I've never experienced it, but the care was absolutely fantastic. Gave my dad the confidence. So, but we don't see that until I say, sadly, we need that. So, to see a report like this is just reassures you know, on the good work that's going on. And as Jenny says, it is a real Team Conway approach. And they're local people that are delivering the service to my father that my dad knew their parents and etc. So, great report. Something I'm happy to. I was going to second, but got beaten to it by that. But thank you very much for what the team provide to our elderly residents and our young people within the county of Conway.
Thanks, Mike. And I think that's a really good point. You don't really know about a service until you need it. And that's what social care are absolutely amazing at, whether it's young people, whether it's older people or anybody at any stage where they're perhaps feeling a little bit vulnerable or they just need that additional support. It's fantastic to know they're there. And yeah, it's great to have the opportunity to see it through this report. So we've had a proposer and a seconder. Can I see a show of hands? Oh, sorry. Yes. Oh, I'm old school. I'm going to have to get used to this. In which case, Bedouin, could you open the vote, please? Okay. Is that everybody? Dylan's not come up. It'll just take a second maybe to... Okay. Do we need to vote again then, Sean, or? Yeah. Okay, so could everybody just... Yeah.
Just do it again.
Thank you. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's great. So that was unanimous. Thank you. You can close the vote. Thanks very much. So on to item 9, Housing Regulatory and Audit Portfolio. Councillor Stephen Price. It's the corporate compliments and complaints, social services, representations and complaints and compliments, which you'll find on pages 141 to 224. So I'll hand over to Stephen. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Before I start, can I just give a big thank you to Shonad and her team for compiling this report. Procurement or audit is not always the most exciting department within Conway County Council, but nonetheless, it's one of the most important. Okay, the corporate complaints and compliments annual report can be found in Appendix A. 350 complaints were received during 24-25 and 58% of stage 1 complaints were dealt with within 10 working days, and 51% of stage 2 complaints were dealt with in 20 working days. The Public Ombudsman's letter dated August 25 is presented to the committee in Appendix 1. The Ombudsman encourages the committee to use the data to better understand Conway's performance on complaints and consider how well good complaints handling is embedded throughout the authority. Quarterly statistics are reported to Complaints Standards Authority, the CSA, and are published on the PSOW website. 292 compliments were received for the period, an 18% increase compared to 23-24. Social care representation, complaints and compliments. The social services representation, complaints and compliments annual report is attached at Appendix B. 24 formal complaints were received during 24-25, 22 at stage 1 and 2 at stage 2. 21 of a total of 22 stage 1 complaints received in the year had an acknowledgement letter email sent out to the complainants within 2 working days. That's 95.5%. This represents a slight decrease in comparison to 23-24, where 100% of complaints were acknowledged in 2 working day timescales. 59.1% of stage 1 complaints received were completed within the 15 working day timescales. That's 13 out of a total of 22, which represents a small decline in performance in comparison to the previous reporting year of 78.6% for 23-24. For 24-25, social services received a total of 156 compliments. Integrated adult and community services received 146 compliments, and children, families and safeguarding services received 10 compliments. There appears to be a large contrast between the numbers of compliments received in integrated adult community services compared to those in children, families and safeguarding services. Whilst the nature of the service will be a factor, it is believed there is underreporting in this area. Good practice can be taken from the older people and hospital social work team, who have nominated staff members in different teams to collate compliments and ensure they are passed on for recording on the corporate compliments database. Members are asked to consider and note the content of the report and make any recommendations in respect of its role to review and assess the authority's ability to handle complaints effectively. The corporate complaints officer and the team manager, quality assurance and policy order are present to answer any questions. Just to move on, the report also presents the annual Information Governance Report, which provides a summary of the work undertaken by Information Governance Unit 24-25 and is attached to Appendix A. I'm going to leave it there, Chair, and if there are any questions, I would advise that you direct them to Sinead.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. And I think it's clear looking at the charts there that actually Conway fares very well across Wales in terms of complaints, and I think that's indicative of just what a great service that we provide, and we should be really proud of that. And the way that we deal with the complaints that we do receive reflects really well as well. Okay, so have we, Chris, did you want to come in?
Yeah, if Councillor Stevens proposing to approve the report, I'd like to second him. But also I was going to just bring up that point that you've just mentioned, that the amount of complaints received per 1,000 residents by us remains below the All Wales average, and I think that's really encouraging. And also the 19% increase in compliments. I think you know, we can we should give our staff that pat on the back for that result. I'm also very reassured from reading the appendix and everything that there are actions there for improvement. There are actions there for training, and really, I think all elected members can be assured that we have really got a positive approach in this, and we are very conscientious and transparent about it. So I would like just to commend our work on this. I think it is very reassuring. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, and I echo your comments there. It is reassuring. You know, we're a good authority that works incredibly well, and this reflects that. So, yes, Stephen, you were happy to propose?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to propose. Thank you.
Okay, and Chris is second. So that's to approve that corporate complaints and compliments annual, that we approve the corporate complaints and compliments annual report 24-25, and the social services representations, complaints, compliments annual report for 24-25 as well. So we've had a proposer and a seconder. Can I ask Berwyn to open the vote, please? Okay. Yep. In which case, could you close the vote? Thank you. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so on to item 9.2, the panel performance assessment scope and appointments, which you'll find on pages 225 to 270, and over to Cynghorydd Dilwyn. Just press your microphone, please.
Thank you very much, Leader. And can I also wish you well in your post of being Leader of the Council? I just wish you the best. And I'm sure we'll be working together very well here.
This report has been prepared previously. It's been through scrutiny. We've all read the report, so I'll keep it brief. It comes as we prepare for the panel performance assessment taking place in December. I want to ask Cabinet to approve the scope and the appointments to the panel. You will see that our Governance and Audit Committee has been thoroughly involved regarding the focus areas, adding its input to SMT, our unions and the WLGA. Looking at the independent panel appointments, I am pleased they fall in with our goal of practical experience, knowledge, perspective and, importantly, diversity. Guy and Fama.
Can I hear as well? Could I give a word of thanks to everyone that's been working on this report and preparing it? There's been a great deal of work that's gone into it. Yola McGregor and Fran's names are on the report, but I am aware that Janice Martin as well has been doing a lot of work on this, as she does with a lot of other things as well. And I do feel she needs to be commended for that. And I also thank Chris Cater, who held the portfolio up until last week. And his work, it's his work that's brought this report with the officers. I'm just presenting the good work that's been done in the past today. So,
Chair, propose the recommendation as we see in 2.2 that Cabinet approve the scope as it is in Appendix 1 and appointments as in Appendix 2 for the panel performance assessment taking place in December of this year. So, diolch fawr, Cadeirydd.
Diolch, Dilwyn. Okay, so we've had a proposer, Stephen as a seconder. Anyone want to make any comments? Okay, Chief Executive is going to come in.
Yeah, diolch yn fawr iawn.
yes, thank you, Councillor Dilwyn, and Councillor Chris for his work before then. This is an important panel for us. I think we need to consider very carefully. Well, it is a matter where there'll be quite a bit of preparation work for everyone that has something to do with it. But the only thing I'd like to say is I have complete faith in the panel that's coming forward. They're very experienced people. I've met the chair. She knows a great deal and it's very easy to work with her. But I'm sure there will challenges, which is the purpose of the process, that we are challenged and that we learn. So we're going into this with that attitude, as we do with any other inspection. It's not an inspection really, but it is in all but name. And I think for me, I'm very eager to explain what we do well, but also to gather their opinions and gain their opinions to do better. We won't better ourselves without getting the opinions of other people. So we're going in with that attitude, as we do with any process such as this one. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
And I would say, you know, obviously I've done this for many years, and different assessments, and they take different names, don't they? I guess this is referred to as an assessment, but that we have, I think it's a really good opportunity to show what a fantastic job we do, you know, and that's the approach to take. It's the approach I've taken over the years in education, with things with social care, with things across the board. as a council is an opportunity to show just how good we are. You know, we've touched on it today in terms of, you have to look at the figures that we get in terms of complaints, and that's replicated across all of our services. So this is an opportunity for us to work together to show just why Conway is one of the most successful councils in Wales. So so we've had a proposer, a seconder. Can I see a show of hands for that? Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh, I will get used to this. This is all the years I did. Yeah, this is going to be what you're going to have to say to me repeatedly. Okay, open the vote. Open the vote. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so we've got a couple who weren't involved. Okay, so that's great. You can close the vote. Thank you. There we go. Okay. I'm going to have to use my highlighter pen to highlight open the vote. Okay, so we'll move on to item 10, which is in the finance portfolio, the council tax premiums on long-term empty homes and second homes. And we'll just wait while one member leaves. And then we'll hand over to Councillor Chris Cater. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thank you, Leader.
Sorry,
Sean,
I should have
did you-
declared an interest in this, and I'll leave.
You need to declare an interest. Okay, thanks, Sean.
Sorry, can we be clear as to what the interest is? Sorry, I am sorry.
For what reason? From finance, my family have got property.
Okay, thanks, Sean. Chris, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Leader. Well, this is an extensive report, and I'd like to thank the finance team under Gareth Evans for putting it together. It follows consideration by our Affordable Housing Council Tax Premium Working Group, and the Finance and Resources Overview Scrutiny Committee did debate it last week, and I was in attendance for that meeting, and I appreciated the presentation by a member of the public, Mr. Pritchard. So the various options, together with their potential implications, were considered by this working group in making its recommendations. Trends have been analysed in the numbers relevant to each category, particularly since our council increased the premiums from April this year. I will remind Cabinet that in addition to generating additional revenue of an estimated net of 5.519 million in 2025-2026, the levelling of the premium is intended to be a tool contributing to a couple of factors, and I'm going, with your indulgence, Leader, I'm just going to go through those. So the first one is bringing long-term empty homes back into use. There's been a reduction by over 23% in the last 12 months, and I commend the work of the Empty Homes Evaluation Group, which includes officers from various council departments, partner agencies, and elected members. Another thing contributing is the increasing the supply of affordable housing and enhancing the sustainability of local communities and helping us to meet local housing needs. I have to point out that there are negatives too, and I'll just go through those to give balance. As we know, if you increase taxes, you do potentially increase avoidance and reduction in collectability. There is significant additional administrative responsibility, and we also have risks to the council tax base. As the premium gets charged at a higher rate, uncertainty surrounds transfers in and out of NDR, exceptions, and, as I've just said, collectability issues. So council tax, as we know, forms about 30% of the overall funding of the council, and we need to make sure that the collectability remains high. Many respondents to the consultation have commented that second home owners contribute to the local economy. When they occupy their property, of course, it's no good if the property is empty, but if these second homeowners come in and purchase goods and support the local economy, that is a positive. The impact assessment of the increased council tax premiums on tourism specifically remains challenging, and we need more studies in this area. We all know that there is a balance to be struck between the policy benefits and the resulting financial consequences, and we must be sensitive to unintended consequences developing. And obviously one is if it destabilizes the housing market. So, Leader, I refer to 3.1 of the report, which examines the public consultation on premiums, which we undertook during July. There were 396 respondents. The results can be found on pages 285 to 288 of our pack in front of us this afternoon. Opposition to higher second home premiums has grown. Support for targeting long-term empty properties does remain stable, but with calls for more flexibility and support. Economic and social concerns are more prominent, and many want a more effective evidence-based approach. That's the result from the consultation, Leader. Cabinet members will be aware that effective from the 1st of April 2023, the minimum period for a property to be classified as non-domestic was raised from 70 days to 180 days. And we know that many now think this is too high, but that's not in our remit. It is set out in Welsh Government legislation. There is a Welsh Government consultation presently taking place on proposed flexibility changes, but Cabinet members must be aware this will not conclude until the 20th of November, so we're still in that period of consultation. Consequently, I would resist us adopting any flexibility measures now at this point in time. Flexibility measures, well, for example, a grace period for holiday lets moving back into council tax. Until the consultation process has been concluded, I would not suggest we go down that route. And if we feel it is necessary to go down that route, we could bring a separate paper through democracy early in 2026 to deal with that. The recommendation is, sorry, my screen's gone off, is on page 272. So this is at 2.31 to 2.34, and this is what I propose should go forward to council for approval next week. Yep. So I'm just going to read that out to be absolutely clear. To retain the current 150% council tax premium for second homes for financial years 2026, 2027 and 2027, 2028. So that's going forward not only next year, but the following year to give continuity. To retain the 200% council tax premium for long-term empty homes for the financial years 26, 27, 27, 28. So again, that's 2 years going forwards. Retain the current 300% council tax premium for long-term empty homes that have been empty for 5 years or more. And that's again for those 2 financial years. And lastly, to continue to not apply a discount in respect for second homes and holiday homes and long-term unoccupied and unfurnished properties in the prescribed classes A, B and C for the financial year 2026-2027. So we're not making the decision on that today. That's going forward to full council. So that's what I propose should happen, that this should go on to full council. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for that thorough explanation. Councillor Aron, you have your light on.
Yeah, diolch.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Leader. I agree with the recommendations that have come from the task force. The housing crisis is complex. It affects every part of the county. Well, every part of Wales, really, but government haven't given us many tools to try and deal with this crisis. But raising the premium is one tool that we can use. And I do think that we should use it. Councillor Chris Hughes said in Frosc last week that we're in a situation, a very odd situation, where visitors to the county are staying in second homes and our own neighbours are staying in hotels when waiting for social housing, which is a very serious situation indeed. And the Empty Homes team in the county have told us that we have a town the size of Llanrwst's worth of empty houses in the county, which gives you an example of the situation. So I am happy to second Councillor Chris's proposal.
Diolch, Aaron. Okay, so we have a proposer and a seconder. So could Councillor, Mike, sorry.
Yeah, Mike. Thank you, Leader. I'm happy with these recommendations and will be supporting. But I'd just like to ask, Cynhoryd Aaron makes a fair point there, what Chris said in Finance Resources Overview Scrutiny Committee Monday, where we have local people in bed and breakfast, and yet we have these second homes, empty properties, or what have you. Could I ask the team? I know the answer, and I know individuals approaching the council tax department are all treated as separately and as individual cases. But what help is there for someone who comes to me, who has a second home, it's empty, and they want to do something with that? What assistance is there from Conwy County Borough Council to enable them to get that house fit for living, and perhaps offered to a local person that's fallen upon hard times and finds themselves homeless? If I could ask that question, please.
Thanks, Mike. Who's coming in there?
Hi, Lindsay Blackford, Empty Homes Officer. We do have a wide range of support available to empty home owners. The support we provide is very flexible, and it does depend on the individual property, the person themselves, what they want to achieve. So we would just encourage anybody to contact us, really. And we'll discuss, everything that is available with them and try and support them in, what suits them and their individual circumstances. We do have grants and loans available for renovation work. The products are dependent on what they want to do at the end. So, I don't want to bore you by going through all the details today. Obviously, happy to share it by email if you'd like that information. But yeah, just encourage them to contact us, really.
If I could come back, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. There are people that do approach their local councillors and say that, I have this second property, could be via inheritance or whatever means, but there is assistance and there is advice and there is guidance out there, and basically it's to come to you guys for that advice, and it would be bringing an empty home back in a fit state, as I say, for someone to live in. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, thanks, Mike, and thanks, Lindsay. That is encouraging to know. The support is there to help people. Sometimes it's not for the want of trying. It's just it can be quite difficult, can't it? So yeah, that's really positive. Councillor Anne.
Thanks, Leader. I think I'd like to thank Councillor Chris for bringing forward this revised recommendation to actually maintain the status quo. And I recognise that some really good work has been done. I'm sorry, I've got an echo in my volume, so I might sound a bit hesitant here. But if I could just continue. So I do recognise that a lot of good work has been done with empty homes in returning them back into use, which is great. And also a significant amount of money has been procured to obviously offset some of the unaffordable things that we've got to fund within the council. I think I'd like to give a shout out to the presentation that was given by a member of our community at scrutiny last week on this issue. And he made some really salient points, I thought, in respect of, in some respects, this is a blunt instrument when it comes to holiday homes and the rigorous challenges that they have to sort of meet Welsh Government's current expectations of usage. So I hear that Councillor Chris today saying that he would consider bringing a report in the new year. And I would actually ask him to perhaps, you know, reinforce that commitment, Chris, maybe by suggesting that you do. Obviously, it's up to yourselves as the Cabinet as to whether you do that now, that commitment. But I'd really urge you to do so. I mean, I'm also conscious, having done some research on this, that Pembrokeshire Council has actually reduced their figures. They haven't just maintained the status quo. A lot of their research has urged them to reconsider and therefore to reduce the charges, particularly in relation to holiday homes. So I hope this makes sense, because I can hear myself talking twice. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks, Anne. Chris, did you want to come back in on?
Yeah, I can certainly give Councillor Anne the assurance that we will be looking very seriously at the results of the Welsh Government consultation, and have a look at, you know, whether any flexibility measures would be appropriate and assist. So we'll certainly be having a look at that in the new year.
Okay.
And I thank her for mentioning that again, because it was part of my presentation. And there's no point in doing a consultation like this if you don't look at the results and you don't. I pointed out a few negatives there when I've been presenting this afternoon, and you know, we're not going to ignore those. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Okay, so we've had a proposer and a seconder. So can I ask for the vote to be opened, please? Yep. Yeah. Okay, and you can close the vote. Thank you. Okay, and we're just going to go and get the, yeah. Oh, that one's going. Okay. Just bear with us a moment while we wait for Sharon to return, and Sian as well. Okay, good stuff. So on to item 11, the exempt items, Local Government Act of 1972, Section 100A and Schedule 12A, access to information. We can do a show of hands. Do I need to read the whole blurb? No. Okay, so could I have a proposer, please, that we go? Okay, Mike. And Dilwyn has seconded, so we can do a show of hands on this one. So get told off for this. There we go. Okay, so if you just give us a minute while we just go into session. Thank you.